Hey, what is going on, you guys? My name is Rayge and we are back today with a quick overview video of the Time Heist that is officially live now in the game, guys. So I am going to deep dive in terms of the analysis in terms of how the teams are. Is it worth the money? You know, typically I don't do reviews over anything in the game that costs money because myself being 100% free to play, you know, I've amassed almost 3 years of gameplay in this game without spending a single dollar. So how do I think about the value of what we're getting for the money? That's what we're going to deep diving today, guys. So in case you haven't seen it, it's at the very bottom of the main page here, Time Heist level 80. And this just came out actually today, so we can see kind of the rewards, what we're getting. But as well, guys, you're going to see that there's different options. So there's arrows left and right of this screen here, so you can actually navigate all the way to the very beginning. And this is where the costing of the packages would start, right? So we have Time Heist level 25 for $27.99 Canadian. We got level 35 for $54.99, level 50 for $104.99, level 65 was $140, and then the same price actually for level 80. So yeah, in essence, guys, what you're basically doing is by paying money, you're going to be getting access to your new commander level, which is in the top, being the Time Heist level. And as well, you're going to be getting access to the teams at these respective levels depending on the amount you pay. So if you pay $27.99 for this package, you are going to get the full Wave 1 Avengers, you're going to get Defenders, and the Kree villains. If there's a little circle with 2 more characters, you can hit that and actually see that there are some respective upgrades. If there are upgrades in your roster, you'll also see that there's an up arrow. And then as well, this is how they're going to be upgraded to the left, level 25, 3 stars, Gear Tier level 5, and then as well the respective upgrades of abilities 3, 2, 2, 1, which is essentially how they're improving your basic, special, ultimate, and passive. So, and as well the very bottom right here, giving us access to rewards potentially for each one, right? You can see we get 3.5 million gold, 20k training fragments, which is basically 10 orbs, 2,000 for every orb, and so forth. So there's definitely lots and lots to go through. Progress updates, it basically allows you to unlock as well campaign stages. So I think overall the game is essentially trying to add a catch-up mechanic for newer players, those transitioning the mid-game, or those even in the end game wanting to reach the end game and get respective upgrades for value. So I mean, we really do have to analyze, and then in terms of what you're getting for the dollar, if you guys are planning to bring this up. And again, being 100% free to play, I'm here to just chime in and give you my perspective if it's worth it or not, especially with me having access to all the end game teams now. So guys, starting things off, level 25, you know, what I'd like to do is assess in terms of the teams, the value that you're getting. So first, starting things off, if you're just a brand new beginner player and you're starting off, you know, it is really hard to determine which teams to build in the beginning. I will say they did get this one right. Wave 1 Avengers alone, having those starter 5, they're going to be paying off huge dividends in the long run, because we got Captain America, we have Hulk and Thor all actually being part of endgame teams. I can't say too much on Black Widow and Hawkeye, but those 3 are going to be actually very valuable in the mid game and end game, so they did a great job there. As for the Defenders, they're part of the Heroes for Hire meta in the end game, so you probably won't be getting too much there. As for as well here with the Kree, you know, Minerva is actually a really good Kree character from the early to mid game transition. You also get 5 minions upgraded, and it does say actually on the very bottom there, unlocks Nick Fury. That actually is a very, very important piece, because you do need Nick Fury if you want to unlock a powerful legendary in Omega Red. So if I was starting off and spending money in the game, level 25 for $27.99, to be honest, it's a pretty good deal. You get a little extra juice and gold there, the 10 orb fragments. I mean, it's actually not a bad deal, because starting things off, you may not know which teams are available, and synergies are very rare early in the beginning. But I think compared to some of the other purchases I'll show you later, I think this is actually a really good buy if you're starting off, you want to try the game out. But just keep in mind, this game does tend to actually swing you to paying lots into the game, so you got to be careful about that if you're making that purchase decision. Next up, Time Heist level 35. So Commander level 35 is where this is going to bring you. Now all these characters are going to upgrade to 3 stars, level 35, Gear Tier level 6, and then 4, 3, 3, 2 as the respective upgrades. Just taking a look high level here, guys, honestly, not too much to say. Wakandans are easily the best one in this cluster. They are actually using the end game as a Crucible team and War. But other than that, these other 3 teams, Skill Military, Mercenary, Villains, Hand, as you can see, I have a lot of up arrows for a lot of these characters, because simply put, I just don't have value for them even in the end game 3 years worth. So for $54.99, you're pretty much paying for the Wakandans, and I don't know if that's worth it, to be honest. But you are getting that extra increase in the commander level, so that might be potentially worth it. But in terms of value, this is definitely much better than the level 35, because you're getting potentially actually all three teams have value, whereas this one only pretty much allows you to have Wakandans, and then the other three are pretty much wasted. So I would not recommend this one, even though it does give you a higher commander level. It's twice the cost, just not worth. We got level 50 here, where they give us Guardians of the Galaxy. We have Sinister Six, Hydra, Ravagers, and X-Factor. To be honest, for this one, $105 out of all of them. You get a significant increase in your commander level 50, 4 stars, but I mean, none of these teams are actually in the meta. I would argue Ravagers probably has the most value because they actually are and a viable option to be used in the War Scourge. The minions, respectively, can also be used in the Death Scourge, both being parts of Apocalypse. Other than that, the MVP of this mixture is definitely Baron Zemo, but you can get Baron Zemo through free-to-play methods by going through the raid store. In my honest opinion, this is not worth $105. It gives you a lot of characters, but they're just not used in the game, right? And it's not that great. The more important pieces of this definitely is the gold, the training materials that you can get, and then other than that, let's see what else is in here out of the 8+. So yeah, all this can be farmed over time. Honestly, not deal breaking, especially for a significant cost, $105. You're better off looking at the bigger packages that can give you a higher commander level and at the same time assessing it even further. We got level 65 next here. Okay, so now things get a little bit more interesting. Level 65 is when a lot of the content in the game does open up. So you can see here in this eye, additional details, you're gonna get Cosmic Crucible, RTA, epic campaigns. We're gonna get all the heroes, villains, chapter level 6. So I mean, it opens up a lot of content in the game, allowing you to catch up. But as well, let's take a look at the teams. Asgardians, not terrible team, but more specifically, Thor and Hela do have really good value. So I do like the fact that they're upgrades. As you can see, my Loki, Sif, and Heimdall all need up arrows, which means I don't need them, right? I haven't upgraded them to this point. I've unlocked Apocalypse and all of the end game. The fact that I haven't upgraded them means they just don't have a lot of value. X-Force, not a lot of value. They unlock Dr. Octopus, but he's not relevant. Symbiotes are not relevant. Pimtech's not relevant. Power Armor's not relevant. Inhumans are not relevant. And Shield Medic, as cool as this character is in the beginning of the game, not relevant. So for $140, you're really just paying for the training materials, you're paying for the gold, and you're getting value in characters like Thor and Hela, and that's pretty much it. But the biggest notable increase here is the level 65 bump up, 5 stars, all of them. A lot of their abilities being maxed out at 6664, which is actually one of the highest ones, and they all get actually 2 red stars as well. So this is really good. If you're debating about, like, for example, this one, where this package with the level 50 where you get Baron Zemo and Ravagers, I mean this one has 15 levels higher, and gives you 2 more characters, but it's an extra $40. So it's definitely food for thought. Last but not least, level 80, guys, and this is the one where I actually expected a price increase. So surprisingly enough, $139.99 for level 65. They're really wanting you guys to choose this one because it's no price difference, and I will say the characters are actually much better. So let's get right to it. Uncanny X-Men, they do have value in war right now, but you know, they actually do need Phoenix to thrive, and this does not unlock Phoenix, so keep that in mind. They're a subpar team, but Phoenix, with the addition of this, as you can see, all 5 of my characters need to be upgraded, which means they really have not provided value for me. Astonishing X-Men, for once, a team does not need upgrades. That's because the Astonishing X-Men is a great starting raid team for mutants. They were the mutant raids meta before the Death Seed team became the new go-to, right? So that's why they're all built up. I don't have upgrades there, so I think, let's just say you start off the game and you want to right away get this package for $139.99. It could be $100 in US, sorry, the conversion, but it's a great starting team because they actually have great synergy. However, keep in mind too, this does not have Jubilee as the legendary. You still need to unlock Jubilee, so it's a little misleading in that sense. They're strong in mutant rates, but Jubilee is really the reason that they can thrive, so just keep that in mind, guys. You're not getting the full team. Same with Thanos in the Black Order. It's actually missing Ebony Maw as part of the 5-man duel, and as you can see there, we don't have that, and I also wouldn't recommend them now as they're no longer in the meta. Brotherhood, they could be relevant in war, but otherwise they're not really used in all game modes because they're kind of split up in different teams now. Originally, you do need Magneto to be formulating this Brotherhood team, but you can see with the cluster and upgrade here, you can actually unlock Magneto as a result too. I will also have to say Sabretooth now is officially part of Weapon X, so teams have changed up quite a bit. Magneto is also part of Desi, but it at least gives you access to a powerful character in Magneto if you unlock it right away. And in my honest opinion, these two teams at the very end here are, if it's not the level 80, if it's not the fact that all these characters are going to be brought up to 6 stars, gear tier level 14, and 3 red, it's going to be these last two teams. I actually think the Infinity Watch, it's missing Adam Warlock, but you get 4 out of the 5 characters here, which is absolutely huge. So it doesn't give players access to the OP meta right away, but it's going to definitely start them off on the right foot. And additionally to that, on the far right, we have Cosmic Supremacy here with Kestrel, as well as Icarus and Cersei and Silver Surfer. Each and every one of them are a plug-and-play juggernaut. Those 4 alone is probably worth the money, in addition to the fact that this is actually level 80. So level 80 is pretty much the end game, guys. If you just started the game and you got this offer, you're pretty much entering the end game. So it's actually pretty unbelievable that you're only paying $139.99, because you can see here they're all getting gear tier level 14, all their abilities will be maxed out. They even have the the ISO 8 T1 level 5 with 3 red stars. So that is actually phenomenal value. And as you can see here, they start you off as well with a lot of materials that can help you upgrades respectively and preparing you kind of for the transition into raids and other game content. Now, the reason why I think this is actually the best one if you're going to go for all the way is because this is the same cost as the level 65. And just for context, guys, my account right now, my other account, my baby alternate, is level 75, 76 right now. And it took me about 6 to 7 months to get to that level. Playing somewhat consistent, not really, but it took me roughly 6-7 months to get there. So by jumping to level 80, which I'm not even on at my alternate account, you're pretty much saving probably 6 months plus of actual game time if you wanted to actually catch up to a lot of the end game here, right? So again, I don't recommend Uncanny. Astonishing still needs Jubilee. Would not recommend Black Order. Would not recommend Brotherhood. But Infinity Watch and Cosmic Supremacy here with those 4, they're very, very powerful characters. These last 8 here will actually be worth the value there on top of the gold and training that we get and the T4. So, and just for context, guys, remember this price, $139.99. Let me zoom out now and show you what you can get for that similar cost. For $99.99, you can get, 125 shards of Captain America World War II, which is the newest character right now that you can purchase. You can get, I'm just trying to see what other big ones are there, right? You can get some fragments here of Moonstone for $40. So my point is, the point I'm getting at here is that everything's pretty costly. We can get some 4-leaf clovers, which helps you get materials in the game. But the fact that we're getting 4 or 5 teams, but only 2 of them are relevant for that 140 mark, as much as I don't encourage spending in the game, at the end of the day, I do have to admit it is good value. If you guys are spending money in the game regardless, that is the package to go for, because this is going to be the one that sets you off on the right foot. It actually gives you a really good starting point with Commander level 80, pretty much the entry of Endgame. And you get some really relevant teams here that you can utilize in other game modes. So although some of them aren't complete, like Astonishing and Black Order and Infinity Watch that still needs Adam Warlock, those last 4 there, Silver Surfer, the Eternals, and Kestrel, can unlock a lot of game content for you. On top of that, we do have the progress update, where it's going to essentially allow you to enter into all the end game stages here. So there you guys have it. That's what I would or would not recommend as a free-to-play player perspective in the end game. Again, I think I don't encourage spending money, because I think a lot of the aspects of this game is quite expensive, but I can't deny that this is actually good value, and you gotta give credit where credit's due. They're probably just trying to help out newer players get to the end game so they can actually be partaking in these festivities. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. Are you guys thinking about purchasing as well? Perhaps there's gonna be other things coming up in the future for endgame, but definitely this is a huge opportunity for those that want to catch up, especially get involved in the endgame content. Thank you as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.